But I haven't actually lived in either of those countries like that much before.
Pakistan, Sudan, Jamaica, Fiji.
Went to Japanese school a little bit when politically things started getting a bit, unstable.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we have Hana here.
Hi.
So Hana, could you please introduce yourself?
So I'm Hana.
Yay.
Hana Fuji Bennett. So Fuji is from my mom's side, who's Japanese, and Bennett is my dad's last name, who's English.
Yeah.
So just like a bit about me.
Yeah. So where are you from, Hana?
Yeah, it always comes back down to that question.
Where are you from?
Where am I from?
Yeah.
So the long version that I would give is...
Give them the long version.
I'll give you the long version.
Yeah.
I was born in Pakistan.
Wow. Yeah. That's like
From the get-go.
From the get-go, you're just like boom.
I was born in Pakistan.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, my mom is Japanese and my dad is English. But I haven't actually lived in either of those countries like that much before.
Right.
Because straight after Pakistan, after a bit in Japan for maybe like a year or two, we moved to Sudan. And this was before they had their civil war and like split into North and South.
Yeah. How long did you live in Sudan?
For like 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and I went to school there, like a little international school.
Like for elementary school?
For like kindergarten.
Preschool, yeah.
So after like around 3 years, that's when politically things started getting a bit, unstable. And so I had to move to Japan for a little bit to stay with my grandparents while my parents stayed in Sudan.
You're in Nara, right?
Nara,
yeah.
Nara, okay. And then after that, we moved to Jamaica.
Wow.
For maybe like 4 years.
Okay.
And this is kind of like elementary school, and again in English, like an international school. And it was an American international school as well.
Right.
Which is like, yeah.
And
then...
which is like, yeah.
And then after that, we moved to Fiji.
Wow.
Like opposite side of the world.
So from Jamaica to Fiji.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like two opposite countries.
Yeah. Both islands though.
Both islands.
Very, very different. I lived there for maybe 3 years.
So for middle school, you were in Fiji. How was Fiji? Did you like Fiji?
Oh, I loved Fiji.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like Fiji was kind of where I started becoming a bit more... I was a very quiet kid. From like Sudan to Japan to Jamaica, I was very much like a quiet kind of reserved kid. I'm still a little bit unsure about like who I was.
Yeah.
But then in Fiji, I kind of started to like open up a little bit more. I don't know if it was to do with like Fiji itself or just me developing as a person. School is kind of when you start to discover these new things with like friends. And then after Fiji, we moved to Vietnam in Hanoi, and that's kind of where I spent high school.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
That was a lot. So let's decipher that. Pakistan, Sudan, Jamaica, Fiji, but you were in Japan between those countries.
Yeah, just a little bit in between.
So, but you're half Japanese, half British, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where should I start? Literally. So did you go back to Japan quite often growing up, or?
Yeah, so we kind of, depending on like where we lived and how close it was to Japan, like we'd try and go back maybe, every summer or every other summer to like see my grandparents. Mostly went to Japanese school a little bit. Just like a couple months at a time at like the local shogakko, and then at like the local, koko. But yeah, only for like a little, like some months at a time.
You mostly went to American school, right?
American or international school.
Yeah. So you mostly got international American education,
yes.
Right? So even though you were in all of those countries, were you always like in a international bubble, or did you interact with the locals, or how was it like?
Yeah, I definitely say, and like to varying degrees, like some places it was more bubble-like than others. For instance, I'd say like maybe Jamaica, it was a bit more of like that American bubble situation.
Why do you think that is?
I think, it just depends on the way that the school likes to run things, how many like overseas staff they have, like teachers, like the curriculum, everything was like quite Western oriented. I feel like especially in Fiji, like, my school was very small and there were a lot of like Fijians and like people who
Right.
like consider themselves Fijian to like go to that school.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, in some of my other schools, there were like maybe like more
There's like an
expats.
enclave.
And like Fiji is quite a diverse place in itself as well.
Right.
So I feel like that's kind of why I felt like quite at home there.
Where was your favorite country growing up?
I mean, literally each of those countries holds such a strong, like, important place in my heart, and like the people who I met there, and the
Right.
friendships that I made, the memories. I suppose like me right now at this moment, probably Vietnam, just because it was the most recent place that I lived in.
And you were there in high school. And
I was in high
school is so
school.
fun, isn't it? It's
So
just like,
fun.
It's when shit happens, isn't it?
Yeah,
What was
literally.
it like being half Japanese in Vietnam? Because people kind of see you. They're like, is she Asian? Is she white? Like, you know?
Oh, definitely.
How did the locals take you?
I was definitely like white.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like definitely not really considered Asian.
Did you interact with Vietnamese or?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I had like a lot of Vietnamese friends like from my school. I felt very like comfortable and safe in Vietnam. Probably because of this like, you know, Asian culture that I was surrounded by. And in terms of, you know, little things like how you treat your elders, or, you know, how you respect others. Even though like my school was again like very Western, but I feel like the local culture was a bit more like how I resonate with, like with my Japanese side. Those,
How
like,
was your relationship with Japan like growing up? Like,
Yeah.
because you went back quite often, but you never actually got to live there. But you lived with your grandparents once, and so how's it been? How's your
Yeah.
relationship with Japan like?
I'd say it's a little bit bittersweet.
Okay.
Because I love Japan so
Yeah.
much, and every time I go, like I feel like
Yeah.
I'm in Japan.
Yeah.
You can go to the convenience and get onigiri. I don't really have like place there. You know, I only go to see like my grandparents.
Yeah.
And even though I made some friends, you know, during my time at these public schools in Japan, like local schools, you know, we like kind of keep in touch. We never really were able to connect on that
Yeah.
deeper level.
Yeah.
I was still very much like, oh, she's, you know, she's from abroad. And it's quite inaka as well,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
where we
Yeah.
lived. So it was kind of a bit more like, I don't want to say like exotic, but like I was definitely, you know, kind of, I had like a light on me. And that's kind of how people saw me, rather than for
Right.
just being me. I was like
Right. The
Hana-chan,
hafu.
who was hafu and
Hafu.
who lived abroad. I'm not generally someone who likes to have a lot of attention on me. I'm quite like shy. As much as I love Japan, I don't really see myself like, you know, I don't really have like a place there. But I would love to in the future maybe like try
Yeah.
and go back and construct something for myself there.
Yeah. You recently moved to the UK, right? Did you live in the UK before that, or
Never.
before? Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
But you did visit the UK quite often, right?
Yeah, a little less than Japan, I'd say
Okay.
though.
Why do you think that is?
My parents kind of wanted to like, you know, make an effort with like my Japanese a little bit
Right,
more, and,
right,
like,
right.
keep these connections to Japan a bit stronger, because English is my default language anyway.
Right.
They felt like maybe I didn't really have to, you know, put in that
right.
extra bit to connect with England in the same way.
And how is it living in the UK now?
Oh, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I moved to the UK maybe like 3 years ago. After I graduated high school in
From Vietnam, right? So
Yeah.
it was from Vietnam to the UK.
to the UK.
That's also interesting.
Yeah. And again, it's like that classic, you know, where are you from?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
obviously don't look full white.
Yeah.
You sound kind of funny. Your English accent is like, you know, can't really identify it. Are you
Yeah.
American?
Who are you?
Who are you? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
And I would always just say like the short answer, which
Yeah.
is
What's your short answer?
my short answer is I'm half Japanese, half British, and I lived in Vietnam before coming here.
Right. That is.
And then they
easiest,
have to
isn't
just kind of fill in the gaps as they go.
it?
Yeah.
And how do they react usually? How do people react to that? And how does it go from there?
They're like, oh wow, cool.
nice.
They think it's cool.
Right.
They think it's interesting and different. And I completely like get that. It is
Yeah, yeah.
different, and it is, you know, yeah.
Are you quite hesitant to give the long version?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's like, it depends on the situation, but I feel like I kind of have to like kind of understand, the person who I'm talking to and how interested they genuinely are in like my story. If it's kind of like a more casual, like, oh, so like, what's your deal? Then I'll just give them the short answer. I sometimes feel like if I give them the long answer, it kind of comes across as like, I don't know, like oversharing, maybe showing off, like, oh, look at all these places I've lived.
Like, I've been
wow,
here, but it wasn't your choice.
It wasn't really my choice.
It wasn't your choice. That's the thing.
Yeah, if they ask, like, oh, so like, where were you born? Like, then I'll be happy to like tell them. If they like kind of like take it like a genuine interest.
But it's funny from the get-go. It's just like, I was born in Pakistan.
Yeah, they'll be like, whoa, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I just have all of these like questions all the time. Like these are questions people ask me, but these are also questions I ask myself.
Who do you think you are?
Who do I think I am?
What are you? What do you think you are? I mean, I know who you are, but...
I think me right now, I feel like my answers definitely changed like over the years. Depending on where I've lived. If I lived in Vietnam, I would feel more Japanese and English.
Right.
If I'm in Japan, I feel more English. If I live in England, I feel more Japanese. It's kind of just like wherever
where
like
you are
where
at the moment. I understand.
The place that I closely identify is where I'm not.
Right.
Like anywhere that's like not here, because this is not where I belong. It's kind of like all relative to each other. Right now, though, in England, and especially in London, I feel like that's kind of why I'm having such a, I don't know, kind of like a breakthrough with my identity here in London. Everyone's just like from somewhere else.
Yeah, from everywhere.
Like people who live in London, it's quite often that they weren't born and raised in London, but they still consider London to be their home. And that's kind of how I feel all the time. That's why, me right now, I feel international.
Okay, I'm international.
I'm international.
It's really good because like everybody in London is almost not from London originally. I think 50% of the population, their parents are either not from the UK or their grandparents are not from the UK or something. So, I mean, even if they were born in London, they're not like English descent, you know, and that's really comfortable for me because even if I do look British, I say I'm from Japan and they're like, oh, nice, cool. And they don't dwell on that.
They're like, oh, cool, fine.
Yeah, cool, nice. And like, oh, I love Japan or something. Like, and they don't, but whereas in Japan, it's like a different story, like, oh my God, it's like.
One of the things that keeps me from feeling completely Japanese is to do with like how badly I speak it.
No, you don't. It's perfect. It's really good. Would you like to live in Japan at some point, or where do you see yourself in the future?
Honestly, I feel like I'm just taking it one day at a time, just every day. As much as I, just mentioned I love London and I can see myself like, being a Londoner for a bit. I would love to like try and see how living in Japan might feel in the future. I've always kind of felt like maybe one of these days I'll just go back. Go to Japan. And
you could say go back.
You could say go back, but it will probably be more like going to like maybe living there for a year or something, and seeing if I can build a community for myself there, a place.
I mean, Tokyo is like full of international people.
I'd
You'll
love
be
to
surprised.
try that.
Like you will love Tokyo.
I feel like me right now, I've kind of grown used to like this nomadic lifestyle, which I actually really didn't like at the beginning. There were so many times growing up that I felt like, oh, why can't we just live in one place? I want to be a local somewhere. I would just want to make my friends once and just have them without having to say goodbye every 3 years.
I know.
But I feel like now, me right now...
Is it getting comfortable? Like moving every 3 years?
I kind of like changing things up. And I love meeting new people and seeing new things and seeing new places. And interacting with new cultures. And, because these things all kind of make up who I am. I'm like a sponge. I want to like soak up everything. Issues about identity and these like conversations are things that I love having. And actually, I'm doing my master's degree right now on music, but specifically music as a means to like construct identity and communicate these things. And, it's like this kind of you know, finding our place in this very like an interconnected, globalized world through like creative arts.
Wow, yeah.
So yeah, I feel interested in that kind of thing as well. Please like feel free to give me a follow.
Yes, please follow her Instagram. Yes.
Yeah. I'll be posting, you know, things related to that, but also just like if you're interested in what London life is like for a mixed gal.
Yes. 最後に日本語で
Okay.
なんか言ってもらおうかな。
何よ。
花です。
花でした。はじめまして、藤井花です。よろしくお願いします。
お願いします。奈良に住んでたのかな。
そう。
奈良だけ。少しだけ。で、ちょっと日本に住もうと思ってます。
はい。思ってます。
じゃあ、So thank you for watching, guys. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. And please subscribe to my channel. And please leave a comment. And please go follow Hana. And please go follow my Instagram because I'm not oversharing, but I'm always sharing very nice pictures on Instagram. So please come follow me and go follow Hana. And please leave a comment.
Yes, and enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day and have a nice day.
Yes,
Thank you for watching. Bye bye.